welcome to the first ever installment of Two Chicks and One Devilishly Good-Looking Gay Husband.
Hey.
Clearly this is a working title, which, by the way, we definitely need your help with, and we'll explain that later. But this is the first installment of what's going to be a long journey, a science experiment, if you will, but it's an open forum discussion about anything and everything, from relationships to religion, politics to pop culture. Nothing is off limits. Everything is up for discussion, but most importantly, everything is respected and appreciated on this panel and out there. Right? We're going to have...
Absolutely.
We want everyone to be involved in this process.
I mean, that's what it is. We are your petri dish, basically. So we're going to feed off of you guys, and we're going to feed off of each other, because like Michelle said, we are not all thinking the same here. So,
Thank God.
Clearly not. That is for sure. I'm Michelle. This is Renee, and this is
For our
Steven.
first webisode, we really wanted it just to be kind of a social experiment, and 2011 is right around the corner, and we thought that 2010 had a lot of really good events that we wanted to talk about, and controversial, fun, whether it was sports, news, pop culture, whatever it was, you name it, we have it, and we wanted to just kind of sum up our favorite three, and then discuss.
I think my top three would definitely be the Prop 8, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and the Prop 19, the marijuana policy that did not pass. The one I do want to talk about today would definitely be Prop 8, and the reason it's so passionate with me is that I've been in a committed relationship for 9 years, and I'm not able to, get married. I'm still denied that right, and I do think it's a very valid reason to be, a little pissed off. So that is something I'd like to talk about going forward.
Yeah.
How difficult has that been for you guys? Just as far as, just break down the basic things that maybe we take for granted as far as rights that you guys don't have the liberty of having.
Sure. Tax, there's tax exemptions. There is, tax.
That's a huge one.
Exactly. And then also in some, some families, your living will, living trust, things like that. Families can take things away from you. They can make it really difficult for the other person involved. If, like, you were in the hospital and decided, if you wanted to not be resuscitated, it could become a very big legal battle. So you just don't have those rights.
Yeah, and here's my thing is whether or not you're heterosexual or homosexual, you have the right to have a sucky marriage too, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
We all should have that right.
Let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on Facebook and let us know whether you agree with Steven or not.
Give us your thoughts on Prop 8. Yeah, so the three biggest headlines that spoke to me, the Saints winning the Super Bowl was amazing and huge and spoke to me. Sandra Bullock, to me, was a huge headline. Not just what happened with her and Jesse James, but her winning the Oscar, and for the role, by the way, which I don't really think that she should have won for. I'm just going to throw that out there. But she's just
Why, she has a really
resilient.
good southern accent. What do you
Right,
mean?
exactly.
Well, she's Texas. She's from Texas.
Exactly.
She's from Texas.
But she's resilient and beautiful, and to me, one of the most fascinating people of 2010. Much more fascinating than what we like to wrap our brains around, like the Jersey Shore, which I will not talk about. And my third topic was the cyberbullying. That was a huge headline to me. The teen suicides that have resulted from the cyberbullying has to stop. It's become, it's too much. It's way too much. But let's talk about the Saints winning the Super Bowl, because I did get to go out and tape a show that I was hosting called NFL Weekly Countdown from the center of the Victory Parade. I was on one of the floats. I was going through up and down Bourbon Street, and to see these faces, just a sea of hope, literally. A million different people that just have struggled and have been through so much, and there was not one person, young, old, black, white, whatever it is, that didn't have a smile on their face. And I guess the moral of that story is it's amazing what sports can do. It changes our culture, it changes our dynamic, and it really can bring us hope when we least expect it. So
Who dat?
there you go, exactly. The Who Dat Nation isn't doing quite as well, but
I think a big part of that win was Drew Brees, and he's put his stamp on, being a quarterback in the NFL. He's thrown for over close to 22,000 yards, which makes him, I think, in 5 years of being an NFL quarterback, that's the most in NFL history. So, hello.
not only that, it's everything that he's done in the community too. It's the whole team. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty inspiring.
Yeah,
Very philanthropic.
Yeah, exactly.
They were down and out with Katrina, and now they have a Super Bowl.
There you go. There you
Just
go.
right when they needed it most, I
Yeah.
think, too.
Yeah, definitely.
So 3 topics that really stood out to me in 2010. One was the Super Bowl, obviously. The Chilean miners was huge. That
Oh,
just
yeah.
recently
Yeah.
happened, and a lot of you guys decided to do that for Halloween. So too soon? I don't know. But it impacted
Really?
us huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was
God,
that a
it's not-
huge Halloween costume?
West Hollywood it was.
I don't know how I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
about that. I don't
West
know how I feel
Hollywood,
about
it's
that.
like the sexy
Well, that's what I
miners.
mean. I feel like it was just like way too
Is
soon.
it kind of inappropriate?
A little bit.
I think
Yeah,
so.
but Katrina Halloween, when Katrina happened, there were people dressed up as Katrina Aftermath and all these drag
Right.
queens.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
awful.
I think it's
All right, that's just
So
my
speaking
opinion.
of natural disasters, BP oil spill still affecting the Mississippi Delta and surrounding areas throughout there. I know that the government pretty much put the blame on BP, and they are responsible for all the cost going forward of
Yep.
cleaning up and making sure that the shrimp boats and the fishermen down there can instill their jobs, which is huge. And
It's their only livelihood, though.
I mean, it's crazy to think about that there was something like, I have it right in front of me. so I don't-
185 million
Seriously.
gallons of oil.
As
but-
of July 26th, so over 3 months, it was
yeah.
a crap.
Do you know what
ton of
kills
oil.
me about, well, I shouldn't say that, that's an awful word to say for this, but you know what bothers me is that I think what gets lost in this story is that what caused this from the BP, from the rig explosion, were that 11 men died
Yeah.
and 17
Right.
others went missing. And I think that, and not that we shouldn't focus on just the natural disaster of the birds and the fish
Yeah,
and whatnot, and just the life that was destroyed there, but human lives were lost, and I personally don't feel as though that was paid as much attention to.
Well,
Am I completely wrong?
it was in the first couple of weeks, and then the funerals happened, and then they gave their
And then
condolences,
it
and
just-
then it was just the big catastrophe of the whole, people's lives are destroyed. I mean, people were committing suicide,
Right.
because their families were just down and out, and they were never going to be able to recover.
And not to
So-
be all sad, and this is all about death and natural disasters and our
This is
government
kind of a
sucks.
depressing.
I want to get into
It's
the
our
holiday
Christmas.
spirit.
It's our Christmas episode. Yeah,
We want to
sorry.
wish everybody happy holidays, and a better way to do that is to get an iPad, which I think is kind of the biggest technological phenomenon that we've seen in 2010. Apple gets it right every single time, but this tablet you can do everything with. Okay, yes, minus a few things like run Flash and have a camera and whatnot, but get a freaking iPhone if you want that, or get a little zip drive little camera and do it through that. But 2.0 is coming up in February.
That's huge,
Apple,
right?
yeah, huge.
And is it going to have a camera?
It is going to have a camera, which is cool. I guess like if you're
I think
out and
it's
about,
cool.
you're just going to
Yeah, hold up this big screen. Exactly. Yeah, I don't see that being a selling feature.
But since it was released in April of 2010, Apple sold over 7 million,
Yeah.
or do I want to say billion? No, I think it's million
I think it's
Apple
probably
iPads.
Exaggeration.
But they probably will sell 7 billion at
Yeah.
some point.
Eventually,
So,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's a good
eventually.
point. So the iPad definitely is.
For the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff your stockings with that.
So check them out. We endorse Steve Jobs.
There you go.
Yeah.
We hate to wrap this up, but we're going to have to do it because we've got to let the people do the talking now. It's now time for you out there to give us your opinion. Tell us what you think the biggest headlines of 2010 were, what they meant to you. And hey, we'll be back next year. I can't believe it's already
I know.
2011
I know.
coming
Can't
up.
believe it.
Let us know what you want to talk about. And by the way, the name Two Chicks and One Devilishly Handsome, Fabulously Good-Looking Gay Husband is probably not going to last past this webisode.
Exactly.
So help us out with a title. What do you think the name of this show should be? And be nice, okay? We all have different opinions, but let's be nice, okay? Let's all be friends here. For Renee and Steven, I'm Michelle. We'll see you next year.
See you in 11.
Bye.